Hey, it's Captain Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and for those of you who are unfamiliar with my channel, I am an inshore fishing guide here on the Treasure Coast of Florida, and what I'm going to talk about today is the best deep water snook lures. So we're getting into those hot months here in Florida, where the snook really start to come on into the inlets, and they leave wherever they were in the wintertime, the offshore or up the rivers or whatever, and they all start moving towards the inlets for the summertime. So June, July, August, they're spawning in all the passes and the inlets all around Florida. And I want to show you the baits, the artificial baits to use if you want to catch some of those spawning. You can't keep them, you know, that's when snook are off limits. But I just want to show you some of the best deep water lures that you can use. Now this is my second choice. Let's see how this turns out on video. But these are DOA Terror Eyes, but these are the large versions, and they come with 3/4 ounce and 1 ounce eyes or weights to get them down there into that deeper water. But these are a great choice. You can buy this kit from DOAlures.com. I don't know, it's 50-60 bucks, I think. Yeah, and it's a great lure to use because it'll get down deep, and it really holds the current well too, because typically when you're in those deeper spots, the inlets and the passes, you know, a lot of water has to come from a lot of places and rush through a small area. So a lot of times the tides can be kind of tricky to keep your baits where you want them. And this is a bait, like all baits that you want to throw at a snook, up current. So you pitch it up current and you really just work it on the bottom or swim it real close to the bottom, because the strike zone for a snook is maybe 2 feet from the bottom of those inlets or passes, wherever they are. So they're going to be hugging the bottom for the most part. So you really need to be coming at them, you know, within about 2 feet of the bottom, if not bouncing on the bottom to get to them. So that's my number 2 choice. My number 1 choice is the Flare Hawk jig. All right, I think we all know what Flare Hawk jigs. These don't look very pretty because these are the ones that I make. So they're not nice like the ones you get in the store. But you want basically 3 different colors. You want something pink, you want something white, and then you're gonna want something that's a chartreuse color. And you're going to want 3 different sizes. Well, maybe 4 if you're up in North Florida. You know, North Florida, the tides can be a lot more extreme because you might have 6 foot difference between low and high tide. Whereas down where I am, you know, it's 1.5 feet, 2 feet tops is what we get, because I'm more in the central southern part of Florida. So the tides are bigger as you head north. So the 3 sizes you need are around here are going to be 1 ounce, 1.5 ounce, and 2 ounces. But if you are up in somewhere like Jacksonville catching snook, you might need 3 ounce. I don't even know if they make bigger than that, because like I said, I'm from the southern part of Florida, so I don't know. Because you really need it to be within about 2 feet of the bottom. So if you can't get it there, if you're pitching out one of these and it's not, you can't get it to the bottom, well, then you're definitely going to have to add more weight to it. But for the most part, a 1.5 ounce around here is kind of your go-to everything bait, and that's what we want to use. You know, the white ones are good for when the water clarity is really good, it's nice and clear, and then the pinks and the chartreuse are better for the stained and dirty water. And the way you fish these is pretty simple. You cast it up current, like I said, and you just kind of bounce it on the bottom, or you can swim it just above the bottom, kind of something like this. as you're just reeling it in, just swimming it along the bottom, and that's where you're going to get your bites. So those are the two best deep water lures for snook here in Florida, and then I'm going to show you the best rod choices. So this right here is a 4000 series. It's a BG Daiwa, and it's filled with I think 30-pound braid, and I have a 40-pound leader on there, and this is a medium heavy rod. This is a 7-foot rod. This is the one I also use for fishing around docks and stuff, for snook and redfish. So this is a good one just for that kind of scenario, either docks or fishing in the inlets to get it down there. If you find that the fish are a little bigger than you were expecting, you keep getting pulled right into the rocks or whatever it is, you might need to step up. This is a 5500 series reel, and this is a spin fisher, and it's on a medium heavy rod as well, and it's got a 30-pound braid and a 40 or 50-pound leader on there. These are also my two tarpon rods, so these are definitely for bigger fish that you might need to dig out of some structure or something when it comes to the snook. I like to use the bigger ones because the spools, for tarpon fishing, you give them a lot more line, so they have a lot further they can run before they spool you, so you can go get them before you run out of line. But now is the time of year, when it gets May, June, July, August, September, even when you really can dig up some big snook in those deeper areas. Now, when I say deeper, I mean, I don't know, 12 to 20 feet deep. That's probably about as deep as they get anywhere around where I'm at anyways. I don't know if the inlets up north or North Florida are a little deeper or not, but that's the deep water that I'm talking about, and heavy tide. They work better at night because the bigger snook tend to bite more readily at night, but you don't just have to fish these at night. These are daytime too. Outgoing tide's almost always better for lure fishing because the water's a little dirtier, so that gives you an advantage is trying to fool these fish. But that's really all you need if you want to dig out some of these deep water snook. You need the DOA Terrorize. These are the big ones, the heavy ones. They're 3/4 and 1 ounce are those sizes. And then you need the 1 ounce, 1.5 or 2 ounce down here in Central and South Florida, and maybe a 3 ounce if you're up in Jacksonville. So that's it. Those are your only deep water lures. I hope this helps, and I hope you catch a lot more snook because of it. So until next time, I'll see you then. All right. Bye-bye.